Hi, this is Nicholas Bell with IONCINEMA, here to review Stowaway, the world premiere of the sophomore film directed by Joe Penna, which Netflix will be releasing April 22nd, 2021. If you're familiar with Penna, a Brazilian director who came to prominence on YouTube as a sensation, he's directed several short films, but his 2018 debut was Arctic, starring Mads Mikkelsen as a man against the eponymous locale and the elements there, which premiered at the Cannes Film Festival in the midnight section. He reunites with his usual scribe to date, Ryan Morrison, for an excellent space quartet. Boiled down, this is a narrative that may seem very familiar. The log line, you may be expecting to know how this all unfolds even before the film starts. That's not true. It's actually a spectacularly profound and kind of poignant, realistic science fiction exercise. It's about a crew of three who are on a mission to Mars to study the ability for that planet to sustain life on the long term. It's going to take them 2 years. There are three. They're led by the commander, Martha, played by Toni Collette. She has a research officer, David Kim, played by Daniel Day Kim, and medical officer Zoe, played by Anna Kendrick. It's Colette's third and final mission. It's a little bumpy getting off the ground. Some of the engines may be acting a little sketchy, but nevertheless, they're in space for 12 hours when Martha is inspecting the CDRA section, which is a carbon dioxide removal assembly, so one of the necessary oxygenating components. And when she fiddles with it, a subconscious man, falls on her and she breaks her forearm. That man is Michael, played by Shamier Anderson, the titular Stowaway. He's a launch support engineer for Hyperion, the company that has financed this mission. And all he remembers is readying the ship for takeoff, and then that's it. So presumably some kind of accident happened, although, as the audience, you'll be thinking, is he trying to sabotage this mission, etc.? It keeps you logically on edge. As things go on, Collette and Zoe go back to the CDRA component and find that it's burnt beyond relief. It's irreparable. And corresponding with Hyperion back home, we learn that this vessel was really only built for 2 humans to sustain oxygen necessary for the 5-month trip. Because of that, they were already stretched thin at 3. They definitely can't support having 4 people, so it becomes an ethical dilemma. Hyperion basically gives them the okay to get rid of Michael, while the 3 of them deliberate on that, with the medical officer kind of having a difficult time understanding why they aren't exhausting every possible option until the very last minute. And so that kind of human drama is unfolding the film is nearly 2 hours and doesn't feel like that. It moves at a breakneck speed. It's shot, looks excellent, by Clemens Becker. It's a US-German co-production. Becker will also be serving has worked on a variety of projects for several decades, but was also second unit DOP on Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. Narrative-wise and looks-wise, it resembles, it earns comparison to something like Alfonso Cuarón's Gravity, and is probably a bit more intense, I'd say, even than that film. Hyperion, of course, is a Greek reference to one of the 12 Titans, the children of Gaia and Uranus. And I think it's playing with a lot of themes, but I think it best boiled down in one sequence where, because Michael, before we learn that they will have to dispose of him if they all want to live, he is kind of David's assistant, and David's a fan of jazz, and he's listening to these classical jazz artists who kind of had some discordant rhythms, and they're laughing about that. And David explains what he likes about that is that those stylings are not obvious, it's pure expression. And I think those are both things that you could say about this film. It's not taking an obvious route, and it really does become just a feeling of profound human expression by the end. And it's quite moving and very unexpected space movie, especially when you think you've seen everything. Overall, I would give Stowaway 4 out of 5 stars. Thank you.
Hey, this is Eric from IONCINEMA.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.